This episode's about cutting through the noise and the fake bullshit, speaking your mind, and being able to just watch a damn movie sometimes. 3 things that are getting harder to do in an uneasy world with an increasingly cluttered, broken, restricted internet. You know what can help? NordVPN. Guys, you're watching a web video in 2025. You know what a VPN does. And if you don't, you can learn more and try the NordVPN 2-year plan plus 4 months extra by going to nordvpn.com/moviebob or follow the link in the description, risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Do you want to watch movies or shows that aren't available in your region? Find information that's playing hide-and-seek in your area, or just other things that would work better if the internet thought your PC, tablet, device, whatever, I'm an old guy, we just called it the computer, was somewhere else even if you weren't? NordVPN is the solution you're looking for. In an age where more and more content is getting restricted, siloed, or censored, NordVPN is all about making the internet more free and letting you see and share more information. The way the web ought to be. NordVPN saves me all kinds of time and headache looking for shows, looking up info, and with this deal, it can help you too. Like I said, check it out for yourself and see what you might have been missing. Click the link in the description or go to nordvpn.com/moviebob to get the NordVPN 2-year plan plus 4 months extra risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. And now, on to the show. So I just want to pop in here and explain exactly what it is that we're doing here. Earlier in the week, depending on when I get this up, probably a couple days ago, I posted my review of the new live-action Snow White movie. It's fine, as you'll probably hear me say a couple times in the incoming footage. It's just fine. Nothing really wrong with it. Nothing spectacular about it. It's fine. I don't do or really interest myself in fucking box office analysis because I frankly don't get paid enough to do that, and I have a soul. Fuck that noise. Since a lot of the reviews now that I try to get up as early as possible, because the days of getting screenings a week out or even 2 weeks out from new movies seems to have basically subsided, especially with studios like Disney. So the screenings now, especially in a secondary market like Boston, I'm usually freestyling the review as opposed to getting a whole detailed script out, and as a result, I'm editing and cutting around my thoughts to get them in order. And what ended up happening is I had a bunch of thoughts that were straightforward about the movie and also a lot to say, somewhat angrily, but pretty coherently, at least for me, about all of this horseshit leading up to it, about the gossip and trying to tear down the actors and actresses, and all of this politicized YouTube shit, which I did a whole other episode about, not specifically leading up to this movie, just about the way that the YouTube algorithm rewards people for saying any upcoming movie sucks, basically because YouTube is now in competition with all new movies and all other new media, and it has this rightward bent, but also everything sucks, nihilistic, cynical bent. And then it really went over the top about this one to the point where it was conspiratorial about what this movie was going to be, what it was not going to be, all of this gossip and rumor-mongering, coupled with a more general industry gossip magazine thing to trash the hell out of the young actress who is the lead of this movie, which has always been a shitty thing about the film industry and the way it treats young talent, specifically young women. And I ended up only leaving a fraction of that in the review because the review should be mostly about the movie. But I didn't think that there was no value in calling that shit out, so I chopped out most of that and said, okay, I'll put it in a big picture episode. This is that, because I shot it, didn't want to throw it out completely when it could be its own thing. Here on this show, especially on this channel, if it's monetizable, I'm going to use it. I don't just believe in the sunk cost fallacy, I believe in the sink it to the bottom of the ocean, maybe it can be a reef fallacy. And so yeah, that's what we're going to do here. This is the leftover footage from the review as an episode, basically. If you are unfamiliar with the lead up to all of this, I also brought it up almost a year ago in one of the pilots for This Movie Exists, which was about an animated, unofficial Snow White sequel called Happily Ever After. Speaking of sunk costs, never miss a chance to promote one of the other shows, so here's a clip from that about that. Roll tape. So, did you hear about the woke Snow White? No, not the one still coming out where right-wing morons from YouTube, but I repeat myself, noticed that gossip trades didn't like an actress, so they tried to jump on a bandwagon for media legitimacy and invented a whole imaginary movie to be mad about because stupid people don't know how pre-production works and got so worked up that Ben Shapiro's fake movie company is apparently going to burn a bunch of money making Snow White for Republicans, and meanwhile, when Disney finally showed a teaser shot for the actual movie, it just looked like a normal, boring-ass live-action Disney remake, so they all look even more insane than usual, which is saying something. No, I mean the actual woke Snow White, where they reverse the genders of the villain, flip the plot around so Snow White has to save the prince, and even replace the dwarves with lady dwarves who've got environmental powers. Should have been a link to that on the screen there. If not, there'll be a link in the description. Check that episode out. Check that show out. It's good stuff, I think. And so, yeah, here is the angry bonus footage from the Snow White review. Please enjoy. For context, there is still some pieces of the original review in here as well, so that it flows and makes sense, but mostly bonus footage. Enjoy. Or don't enjoy and be mad at me, but watch, at least. So, like, after a fucking year of the internet losing its goddamn mind about a Snow White movie, and whether or not they were gonna, like, it be too different from the original Snow White movie. Oh my god, are there gonna be dwarves in the movie? Are they gonna change the movie? Is the Snow White not white enough? Guys, what the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. That's some fucked up shit to be mad about. Like, I'll like, write a leeway for people to be mad about shit a lot, but goddamn. Looking at screenshots of like actors saying, are these the dwarves? Those don't look like dwarves. Did they take out dwarves because Peter Dinklage said some shit? Where the hell did that come from? The new live-action remake of Snow White turns out to be probably the most, like, faithful in terms of just being the original movie, with a couple differences, and add some new songs and some other characters so that the second act is a little bit longer, and so Snow White can fight her own bad guy and be like the main character of her own movie. That's pretty much it. Version of one of these live-action remakes. A year later, after all the whining, that's what this comes out as. Movie itself is fine, by the way. It's just fine. It's just, okay, yeah, this is a perfectly acceptable thing to watch for about 90 minutes. Okay, fine. I didn't, like, look at my phone or my watch, so I don't know if it's exactly 90 minutes long, but it feels like it's about exactly 90 minutes long, and it's fine. So that's how it breaks down. This is just about as close to okay, I'm watching the cartoon, but instead it's with real people, and Act 2 has, like, an extra scene because there's a second bunch of good guys to hang out with at one point. So basically, wicked shocker, the internet was wrong. Okay, so I'll jump back in right here with just voiceover to say, before anybody bitches about it, yes, everyone knows that there were also reshoots on this movie. Nobody actually knows what was reshot. Maybe there was a point at which there were not dwarves in this movie. Seems plausible. Maybe not. Maybe they were different types of dwarves. Who knows? And the who knows part of that is really the point. Because I promise you, 90% of YouTube gossipers and scoopers, people who repost concept art on social media and do breaking news, we saw someone's face encircled in red in the background of this set photo. Nobody who does that actually knows shit. That's not how leaks really happen, because actual leaks generally don't happen. The real stuff, the real, doesn't get out, because movie background gossip shit isn't the fucking Zapruder film. Big movie gossip about casting or changing the plots of nerd cinema stuff is not government secrets. You're not breaking news. You're just spoiling people on movie plots. Get the fuck over yourself. Kevin Feige does not, in fact, actually own a sniper rifle, you goon. I know that the internet thinks that it's publishing the Pentagon Papers every time it sees a screenshot because everybody pissed their diapers about Sonic the Hedgehog having the wrong teeth, and a studio went back and abused the shit out of some animators and made a hedgehog look different in what was still a bad movie, so now everybody thinks that they're an unofficial co-executive producer on everything. But no, fuck off, that's not how it really works. Almost every movie has some kind of reshoot to it. Especially big ones. We will very likely not know what was done or not done in between pickups or redesigns on this movie until after it has come and gone from theaters, whenever that is. And the point is not what was done or not done. The point is that nobody, from me to people with completely different take on this than me, than people who give even less of a shit than I do, to people who give way more of a shit, know a single goddamn thing more about it than one another, because they didn't make it. And not a single thing that could have been updated or downgraded or whatever was worth the kinds of awful shit that was being thrown in the direction of the people who made this and the people who were trying to just act in a fucking movie. Especially when everyone who claimed to care so much that they had to be so negative was nakedly, openly, only in it to posture and vice signal to drive their click-through rate up on this godforsaken YouTube hellscape. So if it seems like I'm unnecessarily pissed off about a Disney movie, again, F Disney. I'm pissed off about my own stupid business, because even YouTube should be better than this. And that is a sorry fucking low bar to fail to clear. So, like, are people gonna say they were sorry for dragging all of this nothing up? Not to the studio, motherfuck Disney, but like for making all the rest of us in the press and everyone in the audience actually have to think about and talk about this bullshit after all of a year of not just like, you know, anticipatory, is this gonna be good or not? Because, okay, fine, whatever. I feel like people get way too over-concerned about what are basically movies for babies. The degree that for hate clicks, YouTube pretended to be deeply offended and caring about this because the entertainment press decided that Rachel Zegler was the current, like, hate target was just bizarre. And none of this conspiracy shit about, are there dwarves, are there not dwarves, did they change the whole story, is this political bullshit? Are you going to apologize to what is still a 23-year-old actress who's been in 3 fucking movies that you turned into a target for the worst kind of bullshit over this just to farm clicks? Say, you know, oh hey, we shouldn't have done that. This was actually based on nothing. No? Yeah, but the movie is fine. I mean, I don't mean to bury the lead, but really, other than saying, yeah, it's very pretty, the songs are good, the people can sing, all of the actors can sing. I'm not actually still sure whether or not Gal Gadot can actually sing because she just kind of has a shouting being evil song. I'm also not sure if Gal Gadot can act yet. Like, some of the Disney movies, the live action ones, okay, they can be good, bad, whatever. I feel like as a film critic, I am asked to care a little too much about live action Disney movies that are the equivalent of waiting in line at theme park stuff. This is a movie to entertain small children with dancing and singing and funny dwarves. It's basically just, hey, do you want to see the memorable parts of Snow White done out in live action in like sets that look exactly like they're supposed to, characters that look like they're supposed to? Yeah, okay, if that's your criteria, that's the movie. And again, we spent a goddamn year with the internet losing, not just even the internet, like regular press thing. This escaped containment where like regular media figures were having to talk about this bullshit. Biggest proof positive ever that all of this bullshit from YouTube gossip, scoop culture stuff, all the usual suspects of that have no fucking idea what they're talking about. And I know that that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not this movie is good, but all of that subsumed all of the talk about this movie to the point when that was a bigger story than the making of the film itself. And maybe that was inevitable because there isn't that much else to this other than what's a live action Snow White movie? This. It's not like The Jungle Book where they actually did like change up the ending and themes and a lot of the stuff about Kipling's Jungle Book, and that was interesting. Or Cinderella where they did different things from the original. Or Beauty and the Beast where they actually did like revise and refresh parts of that. You know, Pinocchio had like an entirely different ending and thematics to it. This just is Walt Disney's Snow White with realistic people. Okay, yeah, all right, that's a choice. The more interesting thing that I can say about it is that all of the pre-chatter about this was just such dumb, meaningless bullshit, and none of it turns out to have been for anything. Everyone was mad about nothing. There's probably a lesson in that. I'm not sure what it is.